everyone. My name is Senila Yasmin. I'm a senior at Wakefield Memorial High School. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about turning the tables, teachers as students, and students as teachers. So I'm going to start off by posing a question to the crowd here today. Have you guys ever felt out of place, yet strangely confident, kind of like this rubber ducky over here? Well, that's how I felt when I was here, leading a professional development session in front of my teachers. But they weren't teachers to me at that time. They were a mob with pitchforks and torches, ready to jump out of their desks. But it wasn't me they were angry at. It was the revolution of education, and I was just the messenger. These skills, such as collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, and communication, were all 21st century learning skills that the people in front of me had never had to think about before. It was new territory for them, but very important for students upon graduation to have. The use of technology in the real world is ubiquitous, especially in the workforce, and these 21st century learning skills are skills that all students need to have to be ready for that workforce. I entered high school at a time when these skills and these ideas were being implemented into many school systems. Wakefield Memorial High School serves grades 9 through 12 in a community a bit north from Boston, and unlike its neighboring schools, Wakefield was relatively a technological dead zone, with computers still running Windows XP and no Wi-Fi connection. Students were prohibited from using devices as they were seen as distractions. And while many schools had made the move towards a curriculum with more technology integration, there were limitations as to how far Wakefield could get with limited technology resources and outdated computers. But as students, we were hungry for the resources and technology, but our teachers feared technology integration. Technology had the ability to highlight inadequacies or make pedagogical methods seem outdated. Wakefield also did not invest in training our teachers in technology, but instead put some of the technology destiny into the hands of our students, especially since our technology department was made up of only 3 people. 3 people leading 6 schools with 500 staff members and 3,000 students. That is a lot to handle for them. And so Wakefield needed to implement these 21st century skills, but needed more hands to do that. And that's where I came into the picture, with the start of the Student Help Desk. My freshman year, I heard about the opportunity to start the Student Help Desk and was very interested in it. The help desk was supposed to help these 3 people with the implementation of technology in both the high school and our next door elementary school. So I attended the first meeting for the Student Help Desk after school on a half day, where the technology director told us about the current situation of the Wakefield Public School System in regards to technology and how they needed our help, the students' help, to implement that technology into these 6 schools for these 3,000 students. The administration was taking a huge risk by putting the responsibility of technology for 2 schools into the hands of the students attending that meeting. But we were told about how we would have our own space to work in and our own projects to work on. And of course, my freshman self was thinking, our own space to work in, ownership of a project, maybe some nice comfy chairs that, and desks that would make us feel important. Well, count me in. Well, we would also have the opportunity to help teachers become more comfortable with the use of technology. Going from a home where I had access to a computer and Wi-Fi connection to a school where I had limited resources could get very frustrating for myself and for a ton of students. And when my teachers gave us a survey on paper, it irked me since technology could make these processes faster. Or when I had to pull out my notebook and take notes by hand and my hand would cramp up, it'd get me very frustrated. And when my hands got all sticky from a glue stick, but I still lost credit on an assignment from all the curled corners of my paper that just wouldn't stick to my poster, it irked me. Enough was enough. It was time that Wakefield became a little less attached to the pen and paper and embraced the beauty of technology. And that is the biggest reason why I joined the Student Help Desk and added it to my schedule the next day. Well, the room itself didn't turn out to be exactly as I expected it to be, but at least the chairs were a bit more comfortable and I had a desk. We took baby steps with the teachers. Some teachers needed to know the basics, such as how to set up their email and use it, where other teachers were ready to jump right in and implement technology into the classroom. Other teachers just needed some help on how to implement that technology in their classroom, but knew how to use it. The disparity in the skill level between the teachers could get very frustrating and hard to work with. And so the following year, the student helped us expand it into a class called Technology Integration, where we had 2 teachers to guide us through the projects that we were working on. I gave up my study hall block for the next 3 years to work on this technology program. Since I'd already been in the tech program for a year and had worked that summer with the technology program, I was able to jump right into the program and help troubleshoot computers. I was also able to teach a lot of the students in my class how to do that as well. This was also the year that we were piloting our Bring Your Own Device, or BYOD, program at the high school. Wakefield didn't seem to want to wait any longer to implement technology into our classrooms. Although the pilot was relatively small, we had a new and delicate network, and getting all those devices to connect to our network was a hassle to deal with. And so we often ran into network issues, and I was often involved in the process of helping to fix those issues. And the more I did in the program, the more I learned about technology, and the more comfortable I became with the day-to-day interactions with the faculty and staff. So I was asked by my technology department to lead technology professional development sessions in several different topics in technology. As a student who was comfortable using technology, it was fascinating to see adults, who I usually considered the experts, to be just like one of us, overwhelmed, overworked, and confused. Many faculty members and staff members had never used technology in the classroom before. And being up there at the front of the room with my teachers as my students was a very awkward and weird idea to wrap my head around. And so there I was again, feeling out of place, kind of like that rubber ducky again. I wasn't just going up there and presenting to them, I was teaching them. And so I felt very out of place when up there and took really great risks remaining up there. And this was going against the status quo of the role of a teacher versus the role of a student. And I wondered whether I'd even be taken seriously. I could imagine my teachers thinking, oh, this 15-year-old, she can't teach me anything. What could she have learned in her 15 years that I haven't already learned? Knowing this, I took a great risk remaining up there. As a student, though, I could provide them with a great deal of knowledge in the field of technology. And at my first professional development session, I had the attention of all my teachers. And that was surprising because of what I was originally thinking. But for once up there, I wasn't the one who was trying to understand what was being taught. I was the expert. I was the only one who wasn't confused. As I went around to help my teachers set up their Google accounts, I had to repeat the steps multiple times, and I finally understood why my teachers would get so frustrated when someone wouldn't follow directions. But every year we kept devices out of the hands of our students was another year we were sending a group of students off into the real world, a world where technology was the unknown and new language. And so the next year, despite the lack of professional development, during my 3rd year of high school, we launched the Bring Your Own Device program through the whole school. And that, my friends, changed everything. With more devices on our network, there were more calls, more problems, and more complaints about technology. Oftentimes, some students and I would go up to help a teacher in her classroom implement some technology, and we'd be faced with a teacher who was very frustrated and ready to shut down the devices and open up the textbooks again. We had to be very patient with these teachers while still remaining respectful to them, of course, because they were older than us. For teachers that were a bit resistant to our BYOD program, it was very difficult to do this and very difficult to convince them why we were doing this. There were teachers who would use devices in class but couldn't because of our unstable network. And then there were teachers who didn't even let the students pull out a device. Many students had different experiences in our Bring Your Own Device program. Some students used their device in every class they had, while others wished they had never bought the device because of the infrequent use of the device. Many didn't understand how important it was for us to use these tools in the classroom. Oh, we ended up just fine without technology. Why did the students need it anyway? We needed to make teachers realize why it was so important to implement technology and why we jumped into the program in the first place. And for this, we needed more professional development. And so the technology integration class began to offer one-to-one sessions for our teachers to help them implement technology. But we're now in our second year of BYOD, and technology is ubiquitous in the high school. Every teacher has a projector in their room and a newly updated device running Windows 10. Our Google Apps for Education platform allows for communication and collaboration, two of the 21st century learning skills that I mentioned earlier. Through our other online resources such as Khan Academy and Wakefield's partnership with the virtual high school, we have transformed the way our teachers guide our students and allow them for more independent learning for the students. These tools have allowed a more interactive way of learning that's more interesting to the students. In addition, many students use online presentation tools such as Prezi or Google Slides instead of the traditional poster, which is a more professional way of presenting and teaches them skills that they won't learn by making a poster. No more losing points for that bad glue stick. But there's still a lot of work to be done, and there are still teachers that remain resistant to the purpose of technology in our school system. But as a result of the implementation of technology, our students are better prepared for the road after high school. For students looking for jobs after high school, proficiency in technology is often sought by employers. And for those looking to attend college, they'll surely be using devices in the classroom. In fact, a Wakefield graduate from 2015 wrote to us and told us about how the BYOD program at Wakefield has better prepared her for college. She wrote, "Graduating from Wakefield Memorial High School in 2015, I was much more confident in my technological ability than any class from WMHS had previously been." Looking back now, it's hard to remember a time of what Wakefield was like without technology. We've become so dependent on the technology that it feels like we've had it forever. I cannot remember the last time I pulled out a notebook in class to take notes, or made a poster for a presentation, or lost points for the curled corners on the poster. Throughout the implementation of our technology program, we were faced with many challenges, whether that be the frustration from our teachers or our unstable network connection getting in the way of implementing the technology. But everyone in Wakefield appreciates what we have now, and even those who have graduated from our high school have benefited from our BYOD program, like that quote I showed you earlier. I'm proud to be one of the people who was involved in helping to transform Wakefield Public Schools into a place where technology is an ordinary thing. This is a reward that we at Wakefield High School experience every day, but some of the rewards have been a bit more personal for me. Through the technology program, I've gained the courage to speak my voice and present the other side of an argument instead of shy away and agree with what others say. I have learned to determine what I want and go out and get it. I no longer fear that mob of teachers. I've helped to put away the pitchforks and extinguish the torches. And of course, I've become swifter with the use of technology. I went from just using technology to type essays to using it as a primary mode of communication through email and blogging. But the most important thing that the technology program has done for me is help me to gain the respect of my peers, my faculty, and the staff members at Wakefield Memorial High School and Wakefield Public Schools. I've grown into a well-rounded individual with experiences, and my experiences early on in the technology program have helped me to do this. Thank you.